Because I don't know how it took a therapist, a psychologist, a dating coach, a pickup artist, the CEO of a dating app, and 19 dates just for Sherman to realize these dating videos are a guilty pleasure of mine. I just have to pick them apart like a scab. I'm like a cat with catnip. I just can't control myself. I have to call out the lunacy that I see here. So without further ado, let's go over this two-part series.
My name is Shermin, I'm 30, and I have never had a boyfriend. I write scripts for a living, and all my characters get happily ever after endings.
So Sherman lives in Singapore, and even though she's never had a boyfriend, she has gone out on dates in the past. It's just that it never goes anywhere.
Past relationship 0, longest, shortest amount of time in relationship 0.
That sounds very bad, man.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm going to assume that she's a virgin as well. She doesn't make mention of it in any of these videos, but she does talk about no sex until marriage.
No sex, not till marriage.
So that's definitely also going to limit her options for a partner.
Ta-da! So I'm going to put myself to the test. In the next 8 months, I'm going to do everything and anything to find the one. I will be getting scientific theories from professors.
Well, probably doesn't like you.
Practical lessons from dating coaches.
Get better numbers,
And advice from my friends and family.
Everyone's married, you are not.
So Sherman is hoping to find a boyfriend within 8 months with the help of dating apps. Now, my first impression of Sherman was that she is a hardworking woman. She seems really career-oriented, which is wonderful for her, but most men don't really care about what a woman does for her career choice. That's not the priority when choosing a girlfriend, for most guys in general. Looks matter. But don't just take my word for it. Here's Sherman talking with her therapist about her type.
So what's your type?
What's my type? Tall, pleasant looking, someone who looks like Johnny Depp. Good hygiene, not balding. I don't like guys who are too muscular. It's like, what? Your chest is bigger than mine?
Let's maybe think a little broader because you're just looking at outward appearance.
And here she is judging someone based off of appearance.
I think I caught a glimpse of him just now when we were recording. And yeah, he looks a bit pimply.
Oh.
I don't think I like his face.
You should base how compatible you are off values. You don't want to just judge someone off how he looks and then say no.
Okay, fine. So I lied. Looks do matter. But we didn't click anyways, so it's alright.
How ironic. The person that wasn't prioritizing their outward appearance is prioritizing outward appearances. And here's a perfect example of Sherman ignoring her appearance when asked what her prep work looks like before a date.
What are some of the prep work that you do?
Prep work,
Sherms, don't you have a date?
What are some of the styles that you would like to go for?
Okay, it's pink, it's feminine, and it's like, there's a Sailor Moon at the back.
I mean, who are you trying to attract with this shot?
Now, I'm not about to shame anyone for their preferences. We all have them, and there has to be some level of physical attraction. But if outward appearances are important to you, then you need to step up and match that energy and play your part. Because I don't know how it took a therapist, a psychologist, a dating coach, a pickup artist, the CEO of a dating app, and 19 dates just for Sherman to realize 27 minutes into the first video that, oh yeah, appearances do matter for everybody, including me. Sherman also has this weird, funny obsession with Johnny Depp.
Someone who looks like Johnny Depp.
I want to find someone who's like a Johnny Depp.
You gotta be realistic also.
The one is on the app. But he's like, obviously not Johnny Depp's height.
Johnny is 5'10", by the way. I looked up the average male height in Singapore. It's 5'7". That's how brutal these dating preferences can be.
So I need to get some photos on my dating profile.
So Sherman starts off by creating a dating profile and filling it with various pictures that her team helped her make. I'm not a fan of the pictures. The WNBA one is strange because she never mentioned liking basketball or anything about it. A lot of these pictures don't showcase like the best style that suit her figure, in my opinion. So I'm not a fan. Later, she changes these, but we'll get to that later.
Hey Vic, I think I got my first date.
Wow! Wow, Shermin! First date, let's go!
I don't know, Josh, your hand? Are you not a coffee person? Or?
I can drink it, but it's not like, I'd rather have chocolate, I think. Yeah. I think so.
Oh my gosh. It's okay asking me questions and things like that. We're going to exchange numbers on Telegram and we'll see where it goes. It's been like 20 minutes and he's not here yet. I'm going on a date tonight. I'm on my way there. My heels broke in the morning, so I'm wearing flip-flops to meet the date. Going on my date. I don't know why I sound like this. He said he can't do BTO anymore. I'm like, why? He said like, oh no, because my pay is already over. It felt like all the conversation like constantly went back to money.
Of course, you know why it's similar to the...
Yeah, then I'm like, oh my god, no wonder you look like that.
It's like, oh, interesting, yeah.
It felt like he was genuinely like interested in what I had to share. I mean, there's a lot of common interest.
Now for Sherman's first month on the dating apps, she uses a strategy taught by most men. Swipe on everybody. With her strategy of swiping on everybody though, she was bound to have some guys flake, some guys she didn't connect with, and only a couple that she would really consider going on a second date with. The highlight by far was Ryan, a man 12 years older than her.
I met Ryan on a dating app. He's 12 years older than me. And the first thing I asked was like, do you have kids? He said no kids. He really fits like what I'm looking for in a boyfriend. He's very put together. So, you know, being like 40-ish, he has a good career, you know, he's into like finance, not a financial advisor. We can talk about like a lot of things. So from film to music.
Now these stats are before she went on a makeover and decided to work on her appearance. These are with the old profile photos. But now let's compare those stats to the ones after the self-care makeover, after she updated her profile photos, after she upped her style, after she decided to swipe on only guys that she was actually interested in.
From these 30 swipes, 20 resulted in matches. And from these 20, I have met with 15 guys.
Wow, who could have predicted that turnout? It turns out that if you work on your appearance, more people suddenly become attracted to you. It's wild. So at this point, she's narrowed down her options to 3 guys she's talking to. And those are Ryan, Jay, and Rish. But Ryan actually ends up friendzoning her after asking her to meet again and talk.
Yeah, I've been on like a couple of dates with him. I told him that I really like hanging out with him. He stopped me and he told me, yeah, he saw me only as a friend.
Let me tell you guys, most of the time when a guy friendzones you, you just weren't attractive enough. Women are the friendzoning champions. We took that play out of their playbook. In Ryan's case, there's also a chance that since he's 12 years older, like I said earlier, he could be looking for a traditional housewife, which Sherman is not. And there's also the whole thing about no sex until marriage. That could have spooked him. And because of this new wave of sadness, she decides to reach out to her therapist again for help in understanding why men play games.
On their profiles, they would say like, oh, looking for a long-term relationship. But when I talk to these guys, you know, the conversation sometimes dies or they don't ask me out anymore.
Why don't you think they ask you out anymore? What could some of the reasons be?
Sherman low-key blaming guys, saying that the conversations sometimes die and they don't ask me out anymore. It's super interesting because 5 minutes earlier, this happens.
I haven't really been talking to some of the guys. I haven't been swiping as much as well. It doesn't help that some of the guys that I was talking to, they come across as passive-aggressive. Oh, I guess we're not meeting anymore since you stopped replying.
So she's also been responsible for killing conversations due to being preoccupied with work, feeling tired, or just simply not interested. So she's just as guilty as the men here. So now by the end of part 1, it's come down to 2 guys, Rish and Jay. But the producers decide to add something else into the mix. Offline dating.
It's your first time, doing like an offline dating profiling.
Yes, it's my first time doing it.
Being receptive is always very important, right? Just to verify your highest education level.
A degree in communications.
Then in terms of religion, wise?
Agnostic, I have no faith.
Do you mind sharing what is your height and weight?
Huh?
Yeah,
We were not this close, but the reason why...
It's funny, man. Women always need to know your height, but they can't even say their weight on camera. I love it. The first guy she meets offline ends up being the pimply ugly guy she mentioned earlier that she judged off looks. But the second guy was actually an old coworker of hers. And while it looked like they had a fun date, it wasn't a real connection.
I mean, I think she was a pretty good companion. I wouldn't mind going out with her again. Just that I think her taste in music is just... I don't know what to say. But, I think, who knows? As time passes, things can change.
I think for him it's more of like, okay, let's date and let's see where things go, let's just hang out. He's not looking for a serious life partner.
Alright, so back to Jay and Rich. At some point, Sherman, talking to one of her coaches, decides that she needs to travel with these guys to get to know what they're really like. Now, as far as Rich, it felt like Sherman and Rich were both just going with the flow. They enjoyed the dates, but it was a platonic vibe.
When we go back to Singapore, will you still meet up with me?
Suffer again? No? Well, no. Obviously.
Yes?
Yeah, I look forward to meeting you, definitely.
I do have something that I want to tell Rish, and I'm hoping that... I'm not sure how he'll take it, but we'll see.
I feel like we really can chat.
Yeah.
Right? And
Sherman ends up friend-zoning Rish on a park bench somewhere in Singapore. You see what I mean about that friend-zoning tactic? Whew, it's instinctive. But Jay, on the other hand...
Independent. You're not afraid to just share your opinions. What were your first impressions of me?
Really long legs. Really long legs.
Okay, I guess physicality comes into play.
It's so funny to me how Sherman is so focused on the outward.
you express yourself really well. I find not a lot of guys do that. And you have a really good, nice voice. Okay, yeah, great. We're off to a good start.
Do you want to be like exclusive? So what do you think?
Answer, right?
No, you haven't. Are you gonna give me one now?
Jay ends up being the one to give Sherman her Disney ending, and they're still dating as of now. I thought we would finally see a kiss here, but I guess a kiss in the cheek works too? I don't know, these guys, they're taking it real slow. So what did we learn from this experiment, ladies and gentlemen? Number 1, looks matter. Appearances, you have to keep them up. Number 2, height matters. You're going to have to work doubly hard if you don't have that going for you. She's staring at a giraffe in the thumbnail even. It's wild. Number 3, we all judge. You need to put the best version of yourself out there if you want to give yourself the best chance in dating. And number 4, you have to intentionally put yourself out there. This woman went from 0 to 100 with a quickness. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think about Sherman and her dating situation. I'll have the full videos down below in the description if you want to see the full thing. Take care, guys. Later.